Let's talk about kids for a little bit. So many kids these days are on prescription drugs, behavioral drugs, and that's changed a lot over the last couple of decades. How concerning is that?
Extremely, and you want to have a reality check? Go to your public elementary school at lunchtime, get a pass from security and sit in a chair in the hall outside the nurse's office at lunchtime. The amount of kids that are lined up to take their meds is jaw-dropping. You think you know how bad this is? You have no idea. It is an epidemic of biblical proportions. How many kids are on psychoactive meds? It's a problem. Now, again, there's a legitimate thing going on here. There's a legitimate problem that these kids have with concentrating. They're not making it up, and it's not because of a bad educational system. These kids are not right in the head. Something needs to be done. Why aren't they right in the head? Because what do they have for breakfast? Margarine, Sunny D, sugar smacks, right? And then for lunch, skim milk and pizza, right? Loaded with gluten. They've never taken a vitamin supplement in their entire life. Their body is developing in an undernutrified state. And so guess what? Something's going to break. So they can't think straight. They can't concentrate. They're crazy. They're reactive. There's a medical doctor, one of the few medical doctors, MDs in the country that I respect. Her name is Doris Rapp, R-A-P-P. She did groundbreaking work on the relationship between the consumption of foods that children are allergic to. And I'm not talking about an immediate hypersensitivity reaction like you eat a peanut and your airways swell, right? This is a different type of an allergy. It's called a delayed hypersensitivity reaction mediated by immunoglobulin G in the human body. So you'll eat a food that you're allergic to, and 10 minutes later, these kids are going off the wall. Off of the wall. Their behavior is unbelievable, and it's uncontrollable, and it's not the kid's fault. It's a biochemical reaction that's happening in the body because they've just consumed unwittingly a food that they're allergic to. Doris Rapp was on the Phil Donahue show. Remember the Phil Donahue show? It's a great show, right? Mm-hmm. When she was on, they had more viewers than on any other episode in the Phil Donahue show. And this was back in the late 70s, early 80s, right? Yep. This was a big problem then. It's still a big problem now. And again, you must understand, right? Your MD may be the nicest person that God ever created. But your MD, especially if they are a psychiatrist, does not know what's best for you. They only know what they've been trained in. They're not trained to fix the problem, to settle down the biochemistry of the brain. Their job is to manipulate, in this case, the biochemistry of the brain. And so that's why it's a fool's errand, and it's going to get worse. Because, again, everybody's undernutrified. Nobody knows it. Everybody's eating the wrong food all the time. There's tons of inflammation happening in the body. The body tries to put that fire out. It can't because it doesn't have the raw materials necessary, so something breaks. And then the MDs throw, in this case, a psychoactive drug at it, which is destined to fail because it doesn't fix the problem. It manages the problems. It medicates the child into submission. So from our point of view, this is a symptom, right? It's a symptom. The same way that infertility is a symptom, the same way that unbelievable rates of autism are a symptom, the same way that skyrocketing arthritis is a symptom, skyrocketing Alzheimer's is a symptom. And don't even get me started on obesity. 1/3 of the American population is obese. It's increased by 30% in the childhood population. It's nuts. And you're not overweight because you're lazy. You're not overweight because you have a bad gene. You're not overweight because your stomach's too big or because you have a stomach. You're overweight because you have nutrient deficiencies and your body is starved to death. Your body knows it's starved to death. Your body forces you to eat to fill up your nutrient tank, but the food that you're eating doesn't have the nutrients you need. So you'll pig out at Olive Garden because you have to. You'll eat 3,000 calories in 30 minutes, and 2 hours later, you're starving again. And then you go to your medical doctor, and he tells you your stomach's too big, so gastric bypass or lap band surgery. Or, take speed, take amphetamines to amp you up so much you don't want to eat. Or you're lazy, get on the gym, get on the treadmill. It's nuts. I'm telling you, it is out of control, which is why my mantra, fire your MD, because they've got nothing for you for this stuff. Now, heaven forbid you have a bullet in your arm, your leg snaps in two, you have a bleeding artery, go to the MD, because that's their wheelhouse. You need surgery, go to the MD. And the stuff that we can do with surgery now is awesome. But for everything else, they're the leading cause of bankruptcy and the leading cause of death. And their philosophy of healing is outdated, old-fashioned, incorrect, and dangerous.